Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to choose my November TBR, which I'm very excited about because I honestly have no problems with what I read this month. I think like over the past few months, obviously like October I want to read spooky books and like the thriller ones, horror ones, that type of thing, and cozy fall books, and then obviously in December I'll probably lean more towards Christmassy books and things. But I feel like November is like the one month that doesn't necessarily need a certain type of book to be read, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're just going to choose my November TBR today. I do have 4 or 5 already picked out for videos, so they're going to be separate. Obviously I'm not going to show them what they are, but they're going to be separate from this, so I figured I'll choose another 6. I'm not sure I'll get to them all, but I'm hoping that I can make a good dent or at least get some off my TBR. So behind me are all the books on my bookshelf. Obviously it goes up. I've counted 87 unread books. Some of the books on my bookshelf have been read, which obviously I'm not going to count, so I've got 87 unread books. So I've got the number generator up on the iPad. I'm not sure if you can see that properly, but we're just going to use that. So I've set it to 0 and then I've got max 87, not sure if you can see, but yeah. And then we're just going to generate it and get our first read. Okay, so the first number we got was 65. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but yeah, we'll just go with it. So I will count whatever number 65 is on my bookshelf and then I will come back and show you. So book number 65 on my shelf was Sea of Whispers by Melanie Murphy. So I'm not entirely sure what this one's about. I'm not sure if I think it borders on thriller but is more fiction based than thriller, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but it's about our main character Mia, who sort of has this calling in life that she feels like she has, and she has just recently moved with her family to Long Island, and she realises that that calling that she had has brought someone called Claire Bennycook into her life. Now Claire has a 7-year-old son who's been kidnapped from directly under her nose, so Mia must come to terms with that mysteriousness, and she thinks that she's been called, like this calling thing has been because she needs to help Claire find her son, is the gist that I'm getting it from the back of the book. So yeah, I think it's I think it borders more on fiction, but I think there's going to be a bit of mystery in there, which is very fun. So yeah, I was sent this a while ago by the author as well, which is really nice, so I'll be excited to actually read it and review it for her. And that is our first book. So I'm going to set the number generator back to 0, and then we will do 86 books now because we've got 86 left. It's landed on 67. Not sure if you can see that my iPad's so dirty on the screen. I need to wipe it. I'm not sure you can see that, but we've got 67. So obviously that was 65. We just need to go 2 under and get this one, which is The Shadow Man by Helen Fields. I have had this on my TBR for a very long time. I want to say at least 3 years, maybe a little bit more, but definitely around 3 years. Obviously it's a thriller book, but I'm not entirely sure what it's about. Basically from the back, it's about a shadow man who collects his victims but doesn't keep them safe. We've got our main characters Elspeth, Maggie and Xavier, who are locked in a flat. They don't know where they are and they don't know why they're there, but the only one that knows, they only know that the shadow man has taken them and he's not going to let them go. So they're desperate to escape, as the 3 of them must find a way out of the living hell, even if it means uncovering a very dark truth, because the shadow man isn't a nightmare, he's all too real and he's watching. So yeah, I'm very excited. I feel like this isn't a book that is spoke about a lot, neither is Sea of Whispers, but I think that one's quite new. But this one is not a book that I see a lot of. I do see people talk about Helen Fields books, but I've never really heard of this one be spoke about. So if I like this one, then I know I can delve into more of her books. But yeah, that is the second one to add. So I'll set the timer, not the timer, I'll set the generator again back to 0. Give this a little bit of a wipe, even though it's not going to work. And then we'll do, so that was 86, so it'll be 85 books, won't it? Book 34. Again, not sure if you can see that, but I'm going to go count 34 and then I will be back and show you what we've got. So book number 34 on my shelf was The Shining by Stephen King. I'm actually reading Salem's Lot at the moment by Stephen King, which is my first horror Stephen King. So hopefully this one will be a good one to get to as well. I really enjoyed the film, so I'm kind of excited to see what the book would be like, because I know that Stephen King is very good at like describing things. He's very slow burn, but he describes things really well, and I really like that about his books, because I feel like sometimes books are really hard to get into, especially if they're like, I know this isn't fantasy, but for example fantasy books are hard to get into because even though it gives you all the information in one go, it doesn't do it in a slow pace, I don't feel like, whereas I think Stephen King's books do. So The Shining, if you don't already know, is about Danny, who is 5 years old, 6 years old. Basically he moves to this, I think it's like the Overlook Hotel or something, with his mum and dad, and they're gonna take care of it. His dad's going to become the new caretaker or something about it, and then one day a huge snowstorm happens and locks everyone in the hotel, so they sort of have to just stay there. They can't get out, there's no way in, no way out or anything, but apparently it's supposed to be haunted, especially to do with room 217. So Danny starts seeing things, his dad starts seeing things, and starts going a little bit crackers and things like that. So I'm excited to see how it progresses from a scary film into a scary book, and to see if it actually scares me at all. But yeah, that's quite an exciting one. So that is the third one to be added to my November TBR, and I've just realised all three of them begin with S. So we've got The Shining, The Shadow Man and Sea of Whispers. They all begin with S so far, which I think is quite cool. But yeah, let's set the generator back to 0 and then put in 84 books. I'm still going to show you the number even if you can't see it. Number 12. That's a nice easy one to get, so I'll grab it and then I will be back. So our fourth book to go on the TBR and book number 12 on my shelf is Hate List by Jennifer Brown. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's it close up. Yeah, this is a YA book. It's quite chunky for a YA book, but it sounds very good. So basically this is about Valerie, who 5 months ago left school because her boyfriend Nick open fired on a school. It's set in America, and yeah, he open fired on the school that they went to, on the students, and basically him and Val had compiled like a list of people they didn't like or they hated or had done wrong to them. So Nick used that list to choose his victims basically. So then now later on, Nick has obviously either been arrested or been killed, I'm not entirely sure, but Val now has to go back to that school with the students knowing what they know and what she knows, and she has to now face school without Nick and with everyone knowing the truth about what happened. So I'm interested to see how it pans out, sort of like whose ideas it ended up being and what happened to Val in the end, and how everything panned out, because I'm just excited to see what it's like. But obviously yeah, she's just got to deal with what happened, unfortunately. So yeah, and I'm interested to see why it's so thick as well. I don't know if it's like that many pages. I think it might just be a big book. I know it is. It's 500 odd. It's 511-ish pages, so that is quite a big book for a YA, I feel like, especially I'm gonna say it's a crime thriller type YA, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so that is, it's got bonus content in it, a hate list novella, so I wonder if that is why it's so big. But yeah, that is the fourth book to go on my TBR. Our fifth book, let's reset the generator again. I've turned my brightness down to see if that works, but I honestly don't know if it will. So that was at 84, so we're on 83. Book number 17. Don't know if you can see that, but I'll be back with it. So the fifth book to go on my TBR pile is Bear Town by Frederick Backman. So fun story, I actually tried reading this maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and I think I got about 60 pages in. It wasn't for me in that time period. I think the writing style was what got me, because I really wanted to try Frederick Backman because I hear good stuff about him all the time, and I've watched A Man Called Otto on the TV, and I really like that film, so I did want to read that one, but I don't have that one. I've got this one, so I figured I'll give this one a read because this one is a very popular one and I think it's part of a series. But yeah, just the writing style didn't gel well with me. But I think we were renovating this place at the time, so I think it was when I didn't have much time to read and I wasn't really getting into things. So hopefully we can go back into it this time and try and enjoy it. Again, it's another chunky looking book, so I'm hoping that I'll like it a bit more. I don't really know what it's about. I think based on what I've read on the back and based on what I've read off people's reviews, I think it's about, like, obviously Bear Town. They're usually like quite a nice town sort of thing, and then something happens which makes them drift apart or brings them back together. I'm not entirely sure because the blurb doesn't give too much away, which I like, because then I can go into it a bit blind. But that's sort of the vibes that I'm getting with it. I do like that it looks like it's going to be kind of like a wintry book, which November's going into winter, kind of. So I think that'll, like, if I read it towards the end of November, it'll set us up for a nice wintry read with all the Christmas ones. But yeah, that is the 5th book going on the TBR. Okay, so I've reset the generator for the final time and we're going to find out what our final book number is 46. I've been holding it there as though you can definitely see it, and I'm just not sure if you can. But yeah, I'm going to go get book number 46 and then I'll let you know what it is. Okay, so our 6th and final book going on the TBR, it's actually one from my October TBR that I didn't get round to, but I think it's still a good time to read it because November is still classed as fall season, and that is Kindling by Bonnie Woods. I was really excited to get to this, I just didn't have time. There was just, yeah, just life happens and sometimes you don't have time to read the books that you want to. But I'm very much looking forward to this one. So it's set in the Scottish Highlands between like a happy-go-lucky sunshine city girl and like a grumpy Scottish woodsman, which I feel like there's probably no better trope than that. I love the Scottish Highlands, I've visited them a lot, so I think it's just going to be really fun to picture the different places that it talks about in the book, and then you can picture like the Highlands and things as well. And yeah, I'm just very excited for it. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to it. I might prioritise this one a bit more because obviously November is still fall, but if I put it at the start of it, then it's more fall than the end of November, if that makes sense. But yeah, that is our 6th and final book, so we'll just give a run through. Even though you've just listened to me talk about them, we'll just give it a quick run through. So we've got Kindling by Bonnie Woods, we've got Bear Town by Frederick Backman, we've got Hateless by Jennifer Brown. Then we've got the 3 S's, which I thought was quite cool. We've got The Shining by Stephen King, we've got The Shadow Man by Helen Fields, and we have Sea of Whispers by Melanie Murphy. Honestly, I think that's quite a good haul. Let me see if I can get them all up together, because I feel like we've got a good mix of genres. We've got a romance, we've got kind of just a general fiction, a YA, a horror, a thriller, and then like a mystery fiction. So I think we've got a very good choice of genres there, which I'm very excited for. It all looks like a massive stack because like a couple of them are quite chunky. But yeah, I'm very excited to get around to them. Let me know what you're reading in November, if you've read any of these books that you would recommend me putting first or not putting first, if we're reading any similar books or the same books in November. And yeah, just chat in the comments. But thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment and subscribe because that would mean a lot to me. I'm really trying to work hard and grow on my YouTube this year and into next year because it's nearly the end of the year. But yeah, thank you very much and I will see you next time for a new video. Bye.